We are so excited tonight about what we're going to be talking about. Well, I'm excited because the ladies never know. So tonight, first we want to say it's Father's Day weekend. We want to say Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers. We hope that no mothers come saying say Happy Mother's Day to me. Let's just get that clear. You Happy Father's Day. Let's get that clear. You are not a father. Period. You are a mother at all times. So Lord have mercy. We're live. We are live. So tonight you're here with the ladies of Ladies Night In. I'm going to spin the camera around so you can see each lady. We got Miss Jade in the building. EC.
Hey. Happy Father's Day, every father.
We got Kim in the building.
Hey, happy Father's Day to the dads, the granddads, the uncles, the stepdads, everybody.
Stepdads, yes. And we got Tonka in the house.
Hi, happy Father's Day.
So Tonka has a very, very, very super fan. He comes on all of my TikToks and is always looking for Tonka. So I told him I would shout him out tonight and tell Tonka about him. So Tonka, you got a super fan that be looking for you on my TikToks. He like, why y'all not on TikTok no more? Where's
Hi,
Tonka?
super fan.
So say hi to him again.
Hi. Thanks for
on,
watching.
He come on all the time looking for Tonka. This Lulu. I'm sorry. We sorry. Kim's baby got sprayed by a skunk.
Cat.
Cat.
Not human.
Not human. She's on a water bottle. I don't know if you want to let her in smelling like that though.
I gotta do something.
Yeah, it's best for her to come in.
Well, we don't have to leave out. Pour it on her head. Pour it. Oh,
Got it. All right.
take her outside and pour it on her head. Now that you're done. Where you gonna put her?
In the shower.
Oh, close the door. Lord have mercy. We're sorry, but Kim's cat got sprayed by a skunk and it sprayed her in the eyes. And we're trying to get the skunk spray off the baby, the cat, so it doesn't. We don't know what's wrong. We don't know what's gonna happen. So, oh no, oh Lord, how did you let her out? Jesus.
Don't touch the cat. Do not touch her. I forgot.
Right, the kids are down there. Oh Lord. So I need a sip of my drink because listen. Get her, grab her, Keisha, grab her. Let her run to the door. 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 Oh, good Lord. We're sorry, y'all. We just trying to get the cat together real quick. So if y'all could just hold on. Oh, that smell. Oh my God.
Don't bring that camera over here because I'm not ready.
That opened my sinuses. Okay. She's in the shower.
She's in the shower and in the house. Oh no, wait, hold on.
Please, because please.
So, we're sorry, but this is a family affair. I mean, you know, folks, we love our animals like we love our kids. So we are going to just give us a minute. We might have to resume next month, like, cause we are freaking out, cause this is like a kid. Like, we don't know. Is she okay?
She will be.
Her eyes are real red.
I know, Lulu.
So anyway, welcome to Ladies Night In. We just want to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. We just had a small little issue because the Kim's cat Lulu got sprayed with a skunk a few minutes ago, and we finally caught her because we're trying to pour water in her eyes so that watch the tablecloth so that it doesn't affect her eyes permanently, because we don't know what skunk spray does to an animal. So anyway, tonight, while we're just waiting on Kim, we'll talk about current events for a minute, because we improvising like a mug right now, but that's what we do. So we're gonna talk about current events. Oh, did y'all see Blue Ivy on tour with Beyonce?
Yes.
Yes. How proud they must be of Blue Ivy, because Blue out there.
Yes.
This is my mama. I'm Beyonce. Yes. Beyonce has become the opening act for Blue Ivy. Did you see her?
I did.
What'd you think of that? How do you feel about
I thought it was cute. I thought that I think that as parents we should teach our children the business whatever business that we have or that we're working on, we should teach it. We should give it back to them. And what they do it is on their own. But I think that's a great thing. I think it's beautiful. And why not?
And if Blue could sing, it's gonna be a problem. I hope she could sing. Oh, we gonna bring it to Tonka. Stop.
Hey.
Stop, right? Stop on Tonka.
I saw a little bit of it on social media, but I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, if that's it's no surprise that she's joining Beyonce, and who better than Beyonce? Come on.
I just love it that her mom is taking her out
Yes.
and giving her that opportunity at this young age.
So do I. I loved seeing that. I would love to do with my daughter what she's doing if I was a performer. I just love to see that mother-daughter bond. And Blue Ivy is going to be better than her mother someday.
She is good. Did you see Blue Ivy?
She is
perform?
really grooming her, but I love it. I
just-
love it.
We just was talking about current events. So what did you think about the mother-daughter dynamic of that business?
I was just in there fighting with the cat in the shower. Y'all know cats don't like water, but she got sprayed with the skunk.
Did you spray her eyes with water?
I did
Okay.
the best I could.
Okay.
She's in the bathroom. So my hair got frizzy again. I did see the performance, and I thought it was really nice that she's taking her out, exposing her to the world that she lives in. And she's dressed age appropriately.
Yes, come on, B.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, she's not doing grown, grinding
No,
kind of
right.
moves, just regular dance moves. So I applaud Beyonce and Jay-Z for allowing her to participate in,
Such a huge
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
That's huge.
I'm not totally a Beyonce fan,
All right.
but
We don't want the beehive on us.
I don't care about the beehive.
Oh, girl, they'll come find your house. Shit, I'm not. I don't be on
sprayed
with a skunk.
with a skunk.
So again, welcome to Ladies Night in a New You Nation Network. The girls are back at the table, and we have a conversation that is going to. They never know about what I'm going to ask them. So we have a viewer's question who wants the ladies' advice on a certain situation. So I'm going to read the situation to the ladies, and I'm going to go around. And I'm going to give them the opportunity to express how they feel about this. My husband wants to co-sign for a car for his ex, the mother of his 2 children, because her car is not reliable. And we know she can't afford the payments or the insurance. He's adamant about it. The kids are 14 and 16. If he does this, I'm thinking about leaving because I feel like my feelings don't matter. And he cares more about her than me. We're married, so technically we're both co-signing. We make a decent living, but we are not rich at all. Oh, she wants a new Bronco truck. I suggested we maybe help buy a used car, even though it's not our problem. But I respect the fact he wants his kids safe. Ladies, what would you do? Let's take it on around. Kim.
Hey. I would tell her this is what I'm going to do for you. This is what we're going to do for you. We're going to find you an inexpensive used car, have it checked out by a mechanic to make sure it's in working condition, and that's what you'll get.
And if he buys the car for her, the one that she wants, she says if he does this, she's thinking about leaving.
No, that's not going to happen. He's not buying that car because if you already know she can't afford the payments,
Right.
no, because we're going to have to be responsible financially for that car. No.
Okay.
The kids are, I respect the fact that he wants to make sure his kids are okay. I know someone who helped his kid's mother with college tuition and books and things like that because he felt like the better she does for herself, the better off my kids will be. And he was married to someone else. But that was temporary.
Right.
And she finished and now she's doing well. But I would tell her, we're not co-signing for a brand new car for you.
Right.
First of all, the kids are old enough to take a bus.
Right.
We're not co-signing for a brand new car for you. This is what we can do for you. If you don't want that, then you get nothing.
Ooh. Tonka.
Hi. Uber, Lyft,
Oh.
bus card,
Oh.
aunts, uncles, friends, neighbors. I would not agree to the co-signing. However, I do applaud the guy for wanting to help with his children. But I think I kind of agree with Kim. I think they can get her something new, used, that is reliable. But I think that needs to be the boundary with regards to the co-signing. No. And that's a tough one, but I wouldn't go as far as the co-signing.
Okay. KEC.
I'm going to agree with Kim and Tonka. As the wife, we are not co-signing, but we're going to help. Now, I recently purchased a used car for $5,000, and it's doing great. So that will be our offer. And if he chooses to co-sign anyway, that's a deal breaker for me.
You would leave him?
I would leave him, because if we don't agree on that and you go ahead and do it, yeah, for me, that's a deal breaker. But I'm all for helping
Okay.
under our conditions, though. We're not co-signing. People don't realize co-signers is a big responsibility. You might as well buy the car and take on the payment yourself already,
Right.
because you know she can't afford it.
Right.
Because they are coming after you. And if we're married, they're coming after us.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not rich, so I'm not doing that for anybody. But we will help in other ways. And I'm all for that.
And she want a Bronco truck.
Oh, yeah. And you don't get a choice.
Hi. Could
Jay?
read the question again, because I need to make sure that I heard
My
you say.
ex-husband wants to co-sign.
Ex-husband.
My husband wants to co-sign for a car for his ex, the mother of his 2 children.
No. No. That's it. No.
No?
And let me tell you why a little bit, and I don't want to go too far off or too long about this situation. If you and I are not together and I'm married, right, and you need something, you have family, and where's your man?
Ooh.
Like, where's your man at? Or whoever you sleeping with, even if he's not claiming to be your man. Like, why are you in my husband's pockets? Because, and I'm coming from a place where I was married, right? And I was in a relationship. Okay, I was married. I was in a relationship and wasn't married to my dude, but I got kids by another guy. I never, and I mean never, asked that man for not one thing, because I have a responsibility to my children as well. So he kept his end of the bargain, so I had to keep mine.
Right.
So what does that woman need with a car that she can herself get, but you're going to ask the man that you messed that relationship, or however it got messed up, y'all not together. So the responsibility is over, and the responsibility is now for the children.
Yes. Right.
I'll pick them up. I'm sure the wife don't mind picking up them kids.
No, I ain't picking up the kids either.
I don't mind picking up the kids because they're my stepchildren.
I don't
mind
I'm not
doing
carting them
that.
around.
But she got to figure out how she going to get back and forth and pick them kids up and all the other
Herself.
kind of stuff. She dead wrong for that.
Right.
And if he's thinking about it, then you need to find out what that relationship is really all about. Because me and my kid's father have never, once it was over, he was a great dad. If my kids needed stuff, I never took that man to court. He always did what he had to do.
Right.
But I never asked that man for nothing. Whatever I needed, I got it for myself. Or I had a man eventually, and we did what we had to do. But I never asked that man nothing. So if she asking that man and a brand new car, sis, you need to find out what really was really good. And why is he considering it?
Well, do we know that she asked, or did he offer?
No,
It says she asked.
Oh, she asked.
Yeah,
Okay.
my ex-husband-
She had the nerve.
Yeah, that's
Nah,
I'm
no.
gonna say, once you're married, you are one. So if any man puts anybody before his wife, or any woman puts anybody before her husband, that is a red flag, because we are one. And once I say it's a no, then it's a no. Now, I understand that you have kids. Your kids are 14 and 16. These are not babies. So your 16-year-old is about to be able to get a car. And the father's going to have to be obligated to buy a car for the kid. So you want me to co-sign? well, co-sign or
He don't have a problem with
he doesn't have to do anything, but I'm sure that most parents want to help their child get their first car. This is what I'm saying. That their child is about to be able to have the driver's license, depending on what state they are in. He may already have a driver's license. So that child is going to look to his dad and say, Dad, I want a car. And then the mother's going to say, well, ask your father. If he tells his mom, go ask your father. So he's going to be being asked for a car from him and her. So I would say no. I would say no to that. And I would say, again, like Kim said, I would consider going half for a new used car that works well. So while we're talking about this, we might as well keep it going. If you're here, this is Ladies Night In. We come together once a month to have good conversation. Do we have any comments?
No.
Okay, we come together to have good conversations, and we have viewers who ask us questions, who need help with their relationship, so we give them our advice. So let's talk about deal breakers now. So we're gonna go around the room and tell, what are your deal breakers in a relationship? That bird must have got sprayed too. That bird like, Kim, bring me some water. Spray my eye. No. See, no, everybody knows that we do the show at 8:00, so no. So what are your deal breakers when it comes to, because this woman is saying, if he goes ahead and co-signs for this car, she is considering leaving her husband. Do you think that is a little drastic? And what are your deal breakers when it comes to relationships? And I'll start. My deal breakers, or I have 4 deal breakers. You can't hit me, you can't cheat on me, you can't be addicted to anything, and you must have a personal relationship with God. If that ain't you, you ain't my boo. Tonka. Uh-oh. Come on now, thing. Don't start the night.
Wow.
Oh, hold on, people. We having some technical difficulties tonight. There we go.
Maybe if I stay in one place. Okay, so she
bird
said
is doing the
it's
most.
a deal breaker. And for her, that may be her deal breaker. I just think that, sorry, a lot went on before the show, and we have this bird that's singing outside.
Really doing the most.
Yes. I think the bird wants to answer the question. You can't, hey, this is live. You gotta go with it. It's the beautiful sound of the bird. But
Okay.
so for her, that's her deal breaker. I get it. Everyone has theirs, and I respect that. I guess I have to agree with Tracy. Out of her 4, my one is you do have to have a personal relationship with God, because that's very important in a relationship for me. Another deal breaker is, what is another deal breaker? We're just all thrown off here. I apologize. Lying.
Okay. Line. Yes.
Lying.
Yes.
I'd rather know the truth and handle it, whatever consequences are, but lying is a deal breaker for me.
That's a good one.
Yes.
That's a good one. Let's get to Kim.
Hey.
So my first deal breaker is you can't put your hands on me.
That's it.
Because I think that's the ultimate,
Deal breaker.
yeah, for you to hit me, like physically fight, like that's crazy. No cheating.
One
Right?
and done.
One and done.
One and done.
One and done. I'm 53 years old, and I've been there, done that, and one and done at this point.
That's it.
You have to have marketable skills to keep a job. I don't care what kind of job you do, but you have to be able to keep a job because you have to be able to support yourself, even if we were not together.
Yes.
Basic stuff. You don't have to be a bazillionaire, but you need to be able to feed yourself, house yourself, clothe yourself, because I don't want no scrubs.
No.
Scrubs. No. Scrubs.
I don't want no scrub. Scrub
This is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me.
I think we shut the bird up now.
Keisha, what's your deal breaker?
Welcome to National Geographic Night. My deal breakers are the obvious: no hitting, and if you do, you better make sure I don't get up because I'm gonna kill your ass.
Oh.
No cheating and no co-signing for your ex.
I ain't even mad at you for
Okay.
that.
Hey,
No.
no co-signing.
Wait, what was the question? Because I know what the
What's your
question
deal
was.
breaker?
But you said something else before that. A deal
No, I
what?
said her deal breaker is that if he signs for the car,
Oh, that she was
She
gonna
gonna
leave.
leave
But
him.
you asked something else too, right?
what's your deal breakers?
My deal breaker is what everybody else is saying. Like, don't put your hands on me. That's the ultimate disrespect. Like, you don't like me, you don't want me, you trying to hurt me, and so that's my deal breaker. The hitting. Don't cock your hand back and act like you're gonna hit me or smack me or push me or shake me, you know, any of those things. That's like the end of it.
That's it? That's
For
your
me.
deal breaker?
I mean, I could deal with everything else. I mean,
Cheating?
yeah, because I could just leave.
But it's a deal
Well, that's a
breaker
deal
then.
breaker.
Yeah,
So
I
you just
mean,
leave.
I
Or
mean
would
that's
you?
not. I mean, they do that every day. Like now, that's a norm.
No, it's not.
It's a norm.
No,
like
it's
you
not.
can't even.
That's not a norm. No.
It's not supposed to be the
But
norm.
it's not a norm.
But it's a high percentage of it. So it's almost like you can line up 10 married couples right now, and in that marriage, somewhere along the line, somebody done did something, and they've worked through it. You can work through those things, but it's almost, they make it so common now. Like it's like we're wrong for not wanting to be cheated on, and it's not right,
My thing with that
but
is,
it's wrong.
at our age,
Right.
we've already worked through that
Yes.
with other people. At this point,
Right.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm done.
And you shouldn't. And I'm not saying anybody should. I'm just saying for me,
It's not a deal breaker.
I didn't say it wasn't my top. I just wanted to name just one
Oh.
top deal breaker. And my one top deal breaker is putting your hands on me. Like, don't put your hands on me. That's
Okay.
my top deal breaker. I could line it up and tell you I don't, because it's a lot of that. I don't like a lot of things. Like, you could sneeze wrong, and that could be a deal breaker for me.
Oh,
Like,
no.
it's a lot of things. Like, you don't know to cover your nose and your mouth.
Oh no.
You nasty. I mean, it's a lot of things. Like, you don't tie your shoes. I don't know. Like, you coughing and just out in the air, you don't know to cover your mouth. Like, there's something wrong with you. Like, I don't want to be bothered with that. Like,
Tonka's
So-
gonna read a comment for us. So I'm gonna swing it around over to Tonka.
That's a good one.
Hi, we have a comment. Hi, Jeffrey. He says, I agree with having a deal breaker. For me, it's cruelty. I can't be with a cruel person, even as a friend. I agree.
Yes.
I
yes.
agree.
That's a good
Great.
one.
Lover or
Yes.
friend. I agree.
That's good.
Because
That's
misery
good.
loves company, and I'm not about to be misery's company.
Okay.
Yes.
Tonka
Yeah, that's a good
said
one.
that. So since we're really gonna end at 9 because we had some issues, but we're gonna be on time with ending. So tonight is Father's Day. The ladies don't know we're gonna do this, but we're gonna do it. They never know what we're gonna do, so I just spring stuff on them. But it's Father's Day, so we want to honor the fathers. We want to have a conversation about dads. So one is, how important is a relationship between a father and a daughter? That's number one. And number two, we're gonna kind of sort of focus on the Barrett girls because they are sisters. They all have the same dad. They all have the biological same mother and father.
It's like,
Ooh, see, y'all play too much. And I want to talk about, first I'll start and then I'll go to Jade, and we can talk about the dynamic of our relationship with our dad, because it's curious to know if all of you have experienced the same man as individuals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you grew up in the house with him, but what was your experience like with your dad, and how important was it? Because I don't think that you all had the same experience with him.
probably not.
So I'm gonna say how important is the relationship with a father and a daughter, My dad lives in California, my biological father. My stepfather was with my mother from the time I was 5 years old. We had a wonderful relationship, and he instilled a lot of things in me about men, what I should do with men. We had plenty of talks when I was doing this. He used to get a Jerry curl, and I would do his Jerry curl. So we had plenty of talks, and he told me a lot of things about men. But the importance of my biological father not being there, there was a void in my life. And it led me to really try to get men to stay in my life. So I stayed with some men far too long based on the fact that somebody's going to stay with me. I'm going to be important enough to somebody. And going through therapy and coaching showed me that that really was a sore spot for me. Even though all my life I said, oh, it doesn't bother me. My father, because he never reached out. Like, never. He's 82 years old now, but he never sent Christmas presents. He never sent my mother child support money. He never sent for me. So it was like, why would this person be able to just disconnect from me? He has a relationship with my sisters and my brother. And it was weird when we had a conversation because they speak very highly of my father. And I don't speak highly of him, or I don't talk down on him either. However, their experience with him and who he is totally different, as well as my experience with my mother, because I'll knock them out. They say something about my mama. But when they're talking about him, and I'm thinking, I never say it out loud that he wasn't a good father to me, because I don't want to mess their thing up. And they're putting him on a pedestal, but he wasn't a good man and a good father to my mother. So it's kind of like the dynamic of the experience of different siblings that they get from a father. So I think it's very important, fathers who are listening, even if your children are not in the home with you. I don't care if you call once a month. I don't care if you call on Christmas or their birthday. I don't even think my father knows when my birthday is. Okay, I'm gonna pass the mic to Jade, because that could be really like, I don't even think he knows that when my birthday is. Jade.
How you gonna swing that camera over to me after you done said that sad ass shit? That just broke my heart. I don't like that.
Don't be heartbroken. Just, it's, we've all had
No, I
experience.
understand that's your experience, but jeez.
The importance of father and daughter relationships, and tell them how.
Okay,
tell them
so-
your relationship with your dad.
I'm a daddy's girl. I was. My dad, I didn't meet my dad until I was 8 years old. My mom ran from my dad. They were married. She ran, and when he finally, my grandfather, who was another awesome, awesome man in my life, made my mother say, listen, let him. And my dad came. When he came, he didn't just come visit us. He took us.
Oh.
He took us, and he changed his life to raise us, to raise me and my siblings.
Can you go check
And
on
with
Lulu?
that
sorry.
being said, he was everything to me.
Just don't do it.
Yeah.
If
He
it
was
my
everything
kid,
to
I'd
me.
check on my kid. What if she dead?
She's not dead.
Okay, all right, sit
Oh
down.
my God.
I'm sorry.
It's just
I
another
just saw
sad
water.
ass. Sad as hell.
She's probably sitting in the window.
Okay.
We was concerned about Lulu. It was
I'm
just a
sorry.
little conversation
I'm sorry,
about
Jade.
Lulu. So my dad came and took us when I was 8 years old, and he was a man. He was a man. He always acted like a man. He was never soft on me. But I loved him because he loved me, and he loved me not with just his words, but his actions. He was always home at night. Like, he paid the bills. I always had a roof over my head. He was very protective of me. Even when I didn't understand, he was being protective of me, especially when it came to boys. And he did not. He was very, right, Kim? He was very, very protective of me. And I heard him say one day to, he had a girlfriend, and she took us while he was at work. And when he came and got us, she was afraid of my dad. And the thing that I remember that he did was he told her, open the door, give me my daughters, or I'm going to kill you.
Oh.
And as harsh as that sound, it made me feel like, wow, this man would
Do anything.
go to the ends of the earth for me. And he always, to the day he died, he always acted that way. To anybody, if we were upset, he was upset, and he wanted to know why. So he taught me a lot of things, and a part of me is like That's why even in a male relationship, I have to calm myself down because I have a man's mentality. And I
Whoa.
move like a man because that's what I saw. That's what I knew. And that's what I
Wow.
know. And there are times, and I remember I can hear my dad in my head when I was married, and he told me, it's okay for you to step aside and be soft because you have a man. And I looked at him, and at first I thought he was betraying me, but then I understood that.
What would you tell fathers on Father's Day? Oh, what would you tell fathers right now on Father's Day about the importance of a relationship with a father right now? Like, there's a lot of young ladies who don't have their fathers in their lives, and you had your father, and the difference that it made in you as opposed to the difference it made in me of not having my dad in my life and trying to overcompensate for men to stay. What advice would you give dads who have not seen their children, their daughters? We're going to talk about daughters now.
I would say you're going to have to be stronger than your situation.
Oh,
You're going to have to be stronger in your situation because I do understand that some women don't want to be bothered with you. And because they don't want to be bothered with you, that means that they put a roadblock in the way for the children. And I'm going to need you to fight because the thing that, and I just said it, my dad told somebody, I will kill you. And that helped me to understand through my years, and I was a little girl when it happened, that he loved me that much that he's going to fight for me, fight for your daughters, and fight for them. And you don't have to always be physical with it. Go to court, fight for your rights to be in your daughter's life because she needs you. She needs to know the other side of the world because I will never be standing up. I don't know what that is. I don't know what it feels like. But she needs somebody who knows to tell. My dad told me everything he could think to tell me.
wow.
Everything he could think. Some things I did have to find out by fault because, of course, I'm hard-headed and I wanted to know what it was like and what it felt. Of course you go through those things, but I always had that man's voice in the back of my mind. So fight for your daughters. Be present as you can be. I don't care if you got to stand in the back of the room and clap loud. Do it. Show up for your daughters. Fight for them.
We're gonna go.
Be there.
We're gonna go to the Barrett sisters,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna do this. I want you to tell me the first word that comes to your mind about your father. Then I want you to tell me the first word, and then I want you to tell me the first word. KECIA.
The first word I think of is fun.
Okay.
My father was fun.
Kim.
Strong.
Okay. Fun, strong. Tonka.
Hustler.
Hustler. Wow. Fun, strong hustler.
Hustler, baby.
So I just wanted to hear your perception of him because that's what you got from him. The main thing you got from him was fun. The main thing you got was strong, and you're the youngest. And the main thing you got was hustler, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your relationship with your father.
Daddy was there, but he wasn't there.
Okay.
I think, honestly, we had a better relationship later in life after he found God, after he gave his life to the Lord and realized, we were older. And those are the times that I mostly, sorry,
It's okay.
because he passed on. So those are the times that I mostly cherish. Because when we were younger, the way he was brought up, Daddy was a hustler. He wasn't a highly educated man. He went back and got his education, a GED, later in life. But Daddy always hustled. We didn't have any birds and bees talks. We all, I think I can speak for my sisters, we didn't have the relationship with my dad's father or my mother's father. We didn't have the granddaughter relationships either. So for me, as I'm growing up, as opposed to you, Tracy, you overcompensated with men. Me, I never opened my heart up to any man
Wow.
because I didn't know or didn't want to have that hurt of fully loving a man, but not really knowing what true love is from a man. But I'm gonna try to change. Sorry, just
It's
okay.
came
Don't be
over.
sorry.
No, I'm gonna try to
Change.
change the tone here. But I must say, the key for me was having God in my life, because with that, with regards to men and whatever relationship happens or whatever relationship comes, my lesson is to pray for discernment and to have God help me with discernment with regards to a relationship. Now, I don't fault my dad. He didn't know. He just didn't know. I don't blame him for not knowing. It wasn't, for me, it wasn't a father-daughter relationship. It just never was. It was dad was in the house and everyone knew him and just knew, oh, don't mess with them Barrett girls. That was his love language. They just knew not to mess with all his girls. And I respected that, but with regards to how a man should treat you, how you know, what you should accept and not accept from a man, no, just had to learn it on my own and just have the faith and trust in God. But I can say I'm thankful that I never have been in a domestic violence relationship or had anyone try to hurt me or anything of that sort. But yeah. So my final thought with that is it's very important, I think, for a father to have a relationship with his daughter. I know sometimes, and I have friends where it's very challenging, where the mother won't let you see whatever. All I could say is you have to pray.
Yes.
You have to pray to God for them to change her, to help you, to pray for the daughter, everybody involved, because that's the only way that if you're in that situation where the mother is being challenging for whatever reasons, and pray for yourself as well. But it is very important because in hindsight, Daddy, he just didn't know because he didn't have the relationship with his parents that way.
Wow.
So, but I don't blame him. I accepted it. You know, I think we all came out good.
Yes.
So,
Kim.
that's my 2 cents.
Wow. I love it. Kim,
Let's see what I was gonna say.
what was your experience?
My experience with my father was, get out of my shot. Move over a little bit. My experience with my father was that he was strong and a protector. He would challenge people to, like Tonka said, like, you know, you touch my girls and that's it. My father, his nickname in the family was the Maniac because he was that crazy. I remember I had a job at a video store back when we used to go to the store and rent VHS tape.
Video. I'm sorry.
It wasn't even Blockbuster. It was like this little individually owned, individually owned video store, and the guy had to shut the video store down because it wasn't making any money, and I had worked that week and he told me that he couldn't pay me. So I went home and told my father, and he said, all right, I'll handle it tomorrow. So I said, okay. And I don't know what he said or did to this man, but he came home with my check the next day. And I was like, oh,
Thank you, Daddy.
that's how that works. So ever since then, I decided if anyone was going to do anything, I was going to tell. But the other side of that is my father was a huge womanizer. He was an awful husband, awful husband.
Wow.
And that's probably Lulu in the bathroom trying to get out, but she can't. And my mother just compounded everything I saw with what she said. She always said that men only want one thing from you. No man is ever going to be your friend if they can't get sex from you. So I thought if I was gonna have friends, sex had to be involved. And I accepted cheating in my relationships because that's what my father did and my mother stayed.
Wow.
So I thought that's what it was. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
But I know better now. So that's what I got from my relationship with my father. And like Tonka said, he never sat us down and talked about this is what, you should look out from boys or men, and they'll say this, but they really mean that. None of that. He said the only thing he ever said to me about relationships was, I don't care who you date. If they put their hands on you, I'll kill them.
Wow.
That was it.
That was the deal breaker.
That was it.
Wow. Wow.
That was it. He didn't care who we dated, where we went, what happened. He said, if they put their hands on you, I'll kill them. That was it.
Wow.
So.
Keisha is the oldest. So Keisha, what was your experience?
First of all, I was grateful that I grew up with my father.
Wow.
Yes, he was there, but he wasn't there. So I think we do have very much similar, even though we're a little apart in age. He was there and he was a good provider. We never went without, but he was not a good husband. And we did not get close until maybe my late 20s, early 30s. Like my sister said, he never sat with us and talked. We didn't have that relationship where he would be like, how was your day? Or let's do this together. No, not until he got older and wiser and changed his life. But I remember my father was a partier, so our house was the party house. And he was a heavy drinker and other things. And for me, that was fun. So I enjoyed being around my father in the dysfunction, not knowing it was dysfunctional when I was younger. Now that I'm older, but I wouldn't change it because I think all the dysfunction in the relationship made me the woman I am today. And like my sister said, when my father got older and gave his life to God and changed his ways, we all became closer and we talked about the past, things we went through. But I do feel sorry for girls who did not grow up with their father there. Like I say, he was there, but he wasn't. But I am grateful that every night when I went to bed, my father was in the house.
Wow.
And we felt the love. Although he didn't say to us every day, I love you, we knew the love was there. And yes, whenever a guy got rough with me or tried or said he would do something to me, I just said, my father will kill you.
Yes.
I knew I was protected though.
Wow.
So yeah, I just thank God I had the time I had with my father.
Wow, that's awesome. Let's bring it back around. I just want to talk to the dads today, this weekend, since it's Father's Day weekend, and just say, it is so important to be in your daughter's lives at whatever level you are in your life. And I know a lot of fathers that stay away because they have their own issues. But it's important to not let your issues make you neglect your daughters, because daughters need fathers. And we are in a time right now where our young girls are really, 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 really out in these streets and they're really lost. And when I see young women gyrating, half naked, just doing things that are just beyond what we would ever imagine. Because we did shit. I'm not gonna lie, we did stuff. You know, we wore Daisy Dukes and we showed some skin, but she looked like I was crazy. But it is beyond anything that we can imagine. And the thought that often comes into my mind when I see these young ladies doing all of these things is, where are the fathers? That is my thought. When I see these young women who are doing all these things, like, I think to myself, where's the fathers? Like, and I'm only naming these people because they're the people that are out here on the front line, like Meg Thee Stallion. And I know it's entertainment, but there's a limit to everything. And the young lady who, I can't think of her name right now, but the young man had kissed her on a show this week. He had just kissed her butt. If you go to her social media page, this young lady has her finger in her twat. She's bent over. She gyrating on a 10-year-old boy at a school. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, when I see Big Lotto, I think that's her name, and I see Sweetie, these women are out here exposing themselves and they're all over the place. And I'm thinking to myself, not where are their mothers, because a lot of these women out here, they out here hanging with their daughters. But I'm thinking to myself, what father would see their daughter on a platform like this and not be like, wait a minute, like, nah, I don't even, not even for the money. I know it's a lot of money in rap right now, exploiting our young girls, exploiting our young women. But I'm thinking, where are the men in these young ladies' lives? So fathers, I encourage you right now to be instrumental, to be vocal in your daughters' lives and snatch them up. So we're gonna do one fishbowl question before we get out of here. Who wants to pick the question? Who wants to pick the question? Keisha? KEC. Pass the bowl, Jay. Pass the bowl.
Why not?
Pass the bowl, Jay. Pass the bowl. Pass the bowl, Jay. Pass the bowl. What's the question? What's the question? I'm scared.
Right.
I'm scared because I don't know the question.
Oh.
Roughly, how many times do sexual thoughts come into your mind? Roughly? It depends on the day. And with this menopause, some days none, some days
I know I was nervous about that.
roughly couple of times.
A day?
Yes.
Oh my Lord, I'm glad you got a man.
And sometimes when I see my man,
Oh.
just come, yeah. Black love.
Black.
Daily.
You think about sex, Dale?
Yeah. I enjoy it.
Oh.
Well, you
The
should.
thought or the act?
The act. I don't have nobody to do it with though. That's why I keep thinking about it.
Oh, Lord. Why do we have to pick this question up? Whoa.
I,
Tonka.
I'm lucky if I think about it.
Oh, you don't think about sex?
Let's talk about it.
I think it crosses everybody's mind here and there, but it's not something that consumes my mind. Roughly.
Roughly? Oh, go ahead, Jade. Can't be.
Oh, you said I was looking
It passed
around
me
like I
up.
thought I had answered the
It
question
passed
already.
me up. I'm glad.
I don't know. I have thoughts of it. It usually comes with a person in mind.
Oh. Well, who?
So
That's a whole other show.
right.
Well, she said it. She
Sometimes
brought it up.
it's not all the time though. I honestly put it behind me a lot of times because I'm busy and I'm not in a relationship, so you know I don't really think about it. But if I have a thought of a person, then it comes to me that way. Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, I guess I got to
Right.
I got to answer the question.
Yeah, Trey.
Okay, so roughly,
Roughly.
when I see somebody I'm attracted to. It doesn't, I'm just not thinking about sex all day, probably because I'm busy editing and doing all kind of stuff. But if I'm scrolling and I see a fine man, the thought of sex will come to my mind. I'm not even gonna lie. I'd be like, whose son is that? How old is he? I wonder if he's single. He could get it.
I wonder.
Roughly, he could get it. I'm like, oh, whose son is that? So it doesn't roughly cross my mind on a regular basis. But again, if I see somebody I'm attracted to, sex may enter the atmosphere of my mind. I might be like, because I'm single too, so I don't just go around thinking about sex, but it does cross the mind when you see a fine brother, you know, wherever, at the gym, at the supermarket, online. You just be like, ooh, look at them muscles. What kind of shoulders are those? Wow. I wonder what's down there.
Gray sweatpants.
What's in them gray sweatpants? What's behind that suit?
Yeah, those are horror pants.
Ooh, so we're going to do our final thoughts now. So we want to again say happy Father's Day to all of the fathers. And we just want to say that it is so important for fathers to be in their daughters and their sons' lives. And we didn't talk about sons because we're all daughters. So we want to talk about from the perspective of our fathers being in our lives or not being in our lives. And it is so important for fathers to be in their daughters' lives. We don't care what the mother is doing or what the mother is saying or who the mother is. Don't make an excuse of why you're not in your daughter's life, because it's only going to harm her. So we'll go around for our final thoughts for the night, and then we're going to go check on Lulu because I'm nervous. I want to know what Lulu in there doing. I want to make sure Lulu's eyes is okay because I'm a mother. I'm nervous. this. I'm worried about Lulu. Lulu's my friend. Hold on. This thing don't want to stop again. Hold on. There we go.
Like Leah over there. Rock the boat.
Rock the boat.
So
Work
final
the
thoughts.
middle. Work the middle. Change
If you
position.
guys
Work it for
only
me.
know
Work it for me.
what happens pre-show, post-show, and during the show. But I love it because it's fun. My final thoughts are to the dads. Pray before you make any decision about any relationship with your daughters or the daughter's mom. Just pray, ask God for guidance. And happy Father's Day. And happy Father's Day to all those who, like me and my sisters, Father is in heaven, and Jade. So happy Father's Day in heaven too.
To my
Have a good
stepdad.
night. And to Trey's stepdad.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Y'all remember Roger?
Yes.
Oh. Final thought.
I just want to say happy Father's Day to my son who is expecting his first.
Woo! Come on, Granny.
That's right.
And I just know that he's going to be a wonderful father. And I want to say to the moms who are not with the fathers of their children, don't block their relationship. There are so many mothers who block the dads from seeing the children because they're not getting child support or because they don't like the father's new girlfriend or new wife or whatever. You're hurting your kids. I have two sons and they have different dads and we didn't always get along. We had some arguments. We had a lot of disagreements, but I never, ever, ever stopped my kids from seeing their fathers.
Amen.
Ever. Because I had to come to the realization that if my kids were going to benefit, their fathers would also benefit from me allowing my sons to build relationships with their fathers. So their fathers are benefiting from building relationships with their sons. And I had to learn to be okay with that. And that took a lot, but it worked out better for my kids. They both have good relationships with their fathers
Amen.
to this day.
Yes.
And I just think that's important. I always wanted to make sure, because we grew up with a lot of dysfunction and domestic violence and things in our household. And I wanted to make sure that my kids didn't grow up with that inside the house, and that it would be healthier emotionally for them to see their parents in happy relationships, even if that meant their parents were apart, than to grow up in a household of fighting and tension and stress.
Wow.
So please stop blocking your kids from having a relationship with their dad. And happy Father's Day.
Wow. That was powerful. KECIA.
My final thoughts are, first I want to thank my sister Tonka for these wonderful strawberries she made for us tonight. Deviled strawberries. They are so good. And happy Father's Day. And I just want to say, be the best father you can be, no matter what the situation is. Every girl, every boy deserves their father in their life, one way or another.
Yes.
So happy Father's Day.
Thank you, KECIA. Let's
So
swing it
cute.
on around to Jade.
Happy Father's Day. Enjoy your day. Happy Heavenly Father's Day to all the fathers who have gone on to greater pastures, and enjoy your day. And also to the mothers, it is not your day.
Come on now, say that again.
It's not your day. It is the men. They are some great fathers out there. You might not like them, and that's okay. But there are some great fathers out there who do their very best, who show up. So please just let the dads have their day, because I'm a daddy's girl. I love my dad, and if he was here, I already know what we would be doing, because he would have called us today to tell us what he wanted us to do for him tomorrow, which is fine. But just move out the way. And the other last thing I'm going to say, and then it's over, is this. Let your children have their relationship with their parent, their dad. Because guess what? If they're not a good parent, that the child will know. They'll make their decisions. You don't need to tell them anything. Let them. When your child come to you and say, "Ma, I don't feel, Daddy, then but they'll figure that out. Trust and believe. If they're not the right, I don't want to say asshole, but if they're asshole, the child will figure that out. They're gonna know, and they're going to come and tell you. So you don't need to block that. Let them have their relationship. And let them decide on their own what that relationship is. And then when the father comes to you and say, my kid, like, no, you did that. I don't have nothing to do with that. They don't want to be bothered with you. And guess what? You got to come through me to get to them now because you did that. Let them form their own decision on their parent. Stay out of it. Unless it's abusive.
That's it.
If it's abusive, that's different. However, if it's not, and it's just your own personal heart and you all bitter, like, stop that. Move. Move. Go. Bye.
I'm going to say to the mothers who are having a hard time co-parenting, who have become bitter, you picked him. You picked him. Just remember that you picked him.
Boom.
And before y'all broke up, he was all that in a bag of chips. And now that didn't work out, you want to talk all this mess about him. But you picked him, and I need you to understand that our children did not decide to be here. So we have to put our feelings aside, and the children come first. And like Jade said, we can't make a man come and be a father. We can't make him come and get his children. But when he shows up, let him in. If he doesn't show up, it is not your job to bash the father to your children, because your children will form an opinion of him on their own. So if you can foster a relationship between your children and their father, I promise you it will benefit you in the end. And if you block your children from their father, I promise you in the end your children will harbor resentment for you. So do the right thing, like Kim said. Sometimes you got to put your own feelings aside. As much as, and I got to say this too, just because he's not a good husband or a good mate doesn't make him a bad father. And a lot of women get caught up in, he wasn't a good boyfriend, he wasn't a good fiance, he wasn't a good husband. You have to distinguish between the two. He's not a good mate, but he's a good dad. And if it is a good dad, honor that man. Okay, so happy Father's Day to all the fathers. You deserve the best. And to the fathers who are trying, whether you are behind bars, whether you are behind on child support, just be better than you were yesterday. You deserve to see your children. You deserve grace and mercy. It is hard being a human. So let's not talk about the deadbeat dads on social media all day tomorrow. And let's uplift the fathers who are doing what they're supposed to do for once this year. And again, too, like Jade said, you could never, ever, ever, if you have a vagina, be a father. Ever. You could never, ever, ever have had a child without a man, without that man. So it is not Father's Day for any woman. I raised a couple of my sons as a single mother. And I want to say this too, and then we're going to go. Let's distinguish between a single mother and a mother whose children live with them. A single mother is a woman who is not getting any help from that man. No help. That's a single mother. A lot of us are co-parenting, and we say, I'm a single mom. You're not a single mom. If that man is picking up his kids every other weekend, if that man is paying his child support, you are co-parenting. I know some real single mothers. The man ain't picking the kids up, and the man ain't giving no money. The man ain't showing up. The man ain't speaking. The man is non-existent. That's a single mother. That's a single parent. So again, like Jay said, her father raised her. The mother was not there. He was a single dad. Let's get this straight. So happy Father's Day. Thank you so much for tuning in to Ladies Night In. We will be here next month. Maybe we won't have the drama, but if you were here from the beginning, you understand this is live and we're going to do what we do. Shout out to Jeffrey. We love you. The lady says shout out to Jeffrey. Jeffrey, thank you so much for hanging in there with us. And anybody else who is watching, thank you. We hope to see you next month. Please send us your questions. You can email us at trey@treykearney.com. Actually, you can email us at info@treykearney.com. And we'll answer your question like we answered the viewer's question this week. And anybody on here who was saying anything ridiculously dumb, you'll be blocked, so you won't be seeing us next week because we see your comments. We were just ignoring you because ignorance is bliss. But you will be blocked. So we know that you need a hug because maybe your mama didn't hug you. But we love you, and we hope that somebody gives you a hug. So love y'all. See y'all next time. I thank my ladies for being here. I thank them for giving their time. We had a wonderful time. You can subscribe to the New You Nation Network YouTube channel. If you would like to be a sponsor or you would like to advertise with us, please send an email to info@treykearney.com, info@TRAYKEARNEY.com. And we'll see you guys next week. And remember, you deserve the best. Yes, we're talking to you. You deserve the best. Now go get it. Peace and blessings. And there's nothing more fun than Ladies Night In. Peace.